Welcome along to episode 860 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on the show this week, Jonathan Antoine let us know about his ninth studio album. We'll be having a bit of an natter with LLewellyn, the co-op innovation chef, about some tasty treats for Christmas. Whilst we're on the tasty treat for Christmas front, the Vegan Society's Eleanor McGregor will be giving us a few alternatives to the likes of turkey. We'll be finding out from Just Giving's Pascal Harvie all about how people have been sort of sharing cash this year and the charities they're supporting. Rusty Lee has got some fantastic Christmas tips for us too. Dr. Ellie Cannon is along with the dancing 2Js as we find out how we can stay healthy. And we'll also hear from Tim Abbott. I caught up with him last week about his event at Luke 1977 in Cannock. You can see what happened when I bumped into him down there this week. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now, new research from the lovely people at Smart Energy GB is telling us all about what we're doing for our Christmas dinner. Somebody whose Christmas dinner I would love to be invited to is legendary chef Rusty Lee, who's with me now. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm really well, thank you. Can you see my background here?
You've got some nice donkeys on the wall behind you.
Two donkeys. Aren't they gorgeous? They
They're
made me
absolutely...
smile. My other half, I spoke to him. I was in the dressing room because I'm doing pantomime in Portsmouth. I'm the genie of the lamp. And I phoned him and I hadn't looked when we rented the house whilst we're here. And I saw these. I said, "What's that above your head?" And he said, "The donkeys." Are they cute?
They are cute, and I think yeah, Mary was riding on a donkey at one point, so it's all very festive as well, isn't it?
Yes, yes, of course, yes, of course. It's just lovely. I'm having a lovely time here. But back to what you were saying now.
Yeah, because I mean, traditional favourites are starting to disappear from our plates. Almost half of us never having tried the likes of eggnog or advocaat. Now, I know you're more of a rum girl, really, aren't you? But have you done
Oh,
those two tipples?
I'm a rum girl, but Advocaat was always the thing at Christmas, Advocaat and Snowball. But I was so greedy. I love the Advocaat on its own because when you drink it, and you know that little bit that's left in the glass, because you'd have it in like a shot glass, or run your fingers round and lick the creamy mixture off your finger, which was lovely. Did you have that? Did you have
I've
a
never had either of those. So I think our
It's
next
an
drinks
age
party.
thing. It's an age thing, Jason. You're too young. You're
I say,
too.
yeah. Well, the parents and grandparents would have had that, but as I say, I was just that bit too young when I was a kid for
Yes,
that one at
it was a
Christmas.
thing. And it was also a treat that the children could have because the alcohol level wasn't so high. They'd mix it with the lemonade, and that was your treat, along with baby sham
Although
and cherry B.
I have had a baby shower.
I
That
mean,
is a tasty drink, and it's somewhat surprising as well. But I mean,
yeah.
there's all sorts of things people haven't had. I mean, a third of people have mentioned missed out on bread sauce, and again, it's not one that I've done. Is that in your cookery
Have
repertoire?
you not? No, it's not in my cookery book, but my other half, who's German, he's doing the cooking this Christmas because I'm in theatre and he's a very good cook. His thing is he does the red cabbage, which he thinks he's the best person in the world to make red cabbage. He probably is because he's really good with that. And we're having that, and we're having the beef rolls, which is really German beef rolls. It's flatten the beef out, and it's a lovely mix that he rolls it up with onions and things, and it's lovely, and it's done in a nice sauce. And he loves to do bread sauce. I go, "You sure?" And he says, "Yeah, we've got to have the bread sauce." Oh, yes, we have to have the bread sauce. So we have to have the bread sauce and everything, but we also have to have rice and peas and turkey because we've got to have turkey.
Hmm.
It's got to be traditional. James is half English, half Jamaican, so we've got quite a mixture going on, and I think it's great, because we get introduced to a lot of different foods from different people all over the world. And, you can always add a little bit of something of theirs to yours.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
lovely.
It is nice. Sharing cultures is absolutely brilliant. And I mean,
Yes.
I remember when you were doing a cookery class when I was working with you on Bilston Market back in 2019. And
Oh
you,
my goodness.
yeah, I know. And we had a good time down there. But the flavors you were bringing kept everybody on their toes.
Um, yes, because I do the cookery demos and things like that. People just love it and love to try the things. And for instance, I do corned beef and rice, and people would love that because they also thought of it like ash,
Corned beef
corned beef.
hash.
Yes, so it's like that, but putting the Caribbean twist on it, it's lovely. And Jamaicans in particular love corned beef and rice. That's white rice with the corned beef cooked up with tomatoes, onions, and garden peas going in that and mixture it and making it lovely. So it's a great thing that people try a bit of everybody's things.
And obviously, Christmas is here, so prep is the order of the day. I know, again, when you're doing a demo, you like things prepped so you can move from stage to stage on it. But it's almost like that when you're putting Christmas dinner together.
Yes, it is. I always say that the best way is to don't panic yourself. It's only a day. It's only another day. Treat it as a Sunday dinner. Don't overstress yourself. Plan what you're going to do. Only do things that you're comfortable with and confident with. And if you've got a lot of people coming, get them to help you. I'm sure they want to help. They don't want to see their host stressed out and run ragged over them. If you've got 5 people coming, that's 10 hands. So just get everyone helping, get someone to lay the table, get someone to look after children if children are there, make sure they're not smashing up the house. So, get everybody involved. So it's not all on you. Get the Christmas music, let them get some games going so the children so that you can enjoy it as well. Because nobody wants to see a flagged out hostess, do they?
Absolutely. No. And so the thing is, you can be as busy as you like. You never look like that, which is how you do it. I do not know, but you just energy, energy, energy. But when
Oh,
it comes to the energy, I mean, your smart meter as well, that's going to tell you how much energy you're using. And that you
well,
don't want to get in a flap about that either, do you?
no, exactly, because people worry about so many things. The meters that you used to have under the stairs with a wheel going spinning around at 100 miles an hour, and you think, oh my goodness, oh my good. You look at it and you worry, and as if you're using too much. But with a smart meter, it's great. You can walk around it with it in your hand. It's like having a mobile phone in your hand. You can see exactly what you're using. It's absolutely tremendous. You don't have, that's one stress you don't have to worry about during the course of the year. And also, you can get a device from your energy provider. It doesn't matter whether it's gas, electric or not. Get in touch with the energy provider and they will sort it out. And if you're savvy, you can get in touch with smartenergygb.org and they will sort you right out
Yeah,
properly.
all the tips on there. Because gone are the days of Christmas Day, you ring out of 50 pences to put in the meter. That doesn't happen there, does it?
No, no, and we don't want that to happen. We want people to have an easier, safe, happy life.
Absolutely. Love Christmas, love the times, and love what we're doing. And of course, your podcast is out there as well, so people can see you cooking whenever they want.
Yes, my podcast is there. It's been great fun doing that with James. So you've seen James, my son,
Hmm.
do the podcast. He's just been amazing. He's got things out of me. I talk about cow foot. Cow foot, and he goes, cow foot. I won't be having any of that because I was telling him about what my mom used to cook
Hmm.
and how I loved it. And pig trotters, he's going, oh. But then the French ran with doing pig trotters, and they go, oh la la, the pig trotters, they're so nice. So I said, now they'll be putting cow foot on their menu and calling it cow foot, the cow foot with the jus. So,
Works every time. I admit, you'd have to tell me after I'd eaten it that it was cow's foot, to be fair. But we'll see how we get on with
butter
that one.
beans.
You have a brilliant time in Panto. Enjoy Christmas. Love to all the family. And I look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Jason, it's a joy as always to speak with you. Take care of your darling self.
Now, I can't quite believe it was 2012 and Jonathan Antoine sprung onto the scene on BGT. He's been doing amazing things with his career, and 2026 promises to be another absolutely amazing year. And he's with me now to tell me what is happening. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. No, I can't believe it's 2012 either. Goodness gracious. Been a while.
It flies by, but I think it's the music that you're performing. It is one of those that it stands the test of time. So it's almost as if we don't realize it's happening so fast because it is just an ever present, and your performances have really brought so many amazing tracks to life. And with the work that you're doing now as well, I mean, it is just going from strength to strength for you, isn't it?
Oh, you're much too kind. That is incredibly, incredibly sweet to say. I do think, the strength of the music, of the compositions themselves, it certainly helps, right? And the fact that people want to hear that interpreted by me, it's a great honor, and I love doing it.
It's the passion you put into it, though, and again, I think that is something. It music is so much about personality, isn't it? And you could have the person with you who's pitch perfect, but no tone in their voice to sort of bring the enthusiasm for the tracks.
Yeah, it's the technical side of things. You can get very, very into the weeds about it, and but nowadays with all the technology that you can fix basically anything, it really is about the approach, that very first, where you hit people, and how you express yourself. It is the deepest expression of all these various emotions that I can think of. It's a way to circumvent words entirely.
But 8 albums so far, the ninth on the way, and the fact that you love a Christmas tune as well. I mean, you can't go wrong, can you?
I mean, it's like I say, it's the strength of these compositions. I've been very, very lucky that there are so many good songs for me out there to sing. It's I never count them individually, but 8 albums, that's quite a few, isn't it? Goodness gracious. I'm very lucky to have been able to put all those together. It's great. It's a great honor.
You've taken the platform you've been given and used it for so much good as well. Your interest in charity work has been phenomenal, and it's just again, it's about being there for people.
Oh, well, thank you again. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always just been this young man from Essex, and I hope to always just be myself. And that, to me, being a person, what that's about is those connections with people. It's about making the world a slightly better place than you came to it as, It's when picking up just one piece of rubbish off the ground, it makes the park a little bit of a brighter place for everyone.
Well, lots of good stuff going on there. And I mean, how's the world and how's the home life? And the sort of the pressure on you must be quite intense with the work that you're doing.
Well, sometimes, but it's mostly self-imposed.
Yeah, but I know. But the cats keep you company to make sure things stay calm when these times are needed.
I still live at home. I've no shame or no bones about it. And so my family are very deeply tied into what I do, which I'm dreadfully sorry to them for doing that to them. But it's just been. They've never really put all that much pressure on me. They've always been incredibly supportive of anything that I wanted to do. Even if I were to have chosen a different path, I feel they would have supported me the whole way. And that is key. That is incredibly important to me, is having those robust support networks.
Well, I think the path would have chosen you in some way. If it hadn't been BGT, it'd have been something else that would have brought you to the fore. And yeah, with this album that's coming up in 2026, again, another chance to enjoy. I mean, you could show off. You don't show off. You just impress. I think that's the difference between you and others performers in that way. So, what have you got lined up for us that's going to impress us this time round?
Oh my! Well, thank you again. This album. I mean, it really is. It's the whole ethos of what we've already been talking about. It is creating those connections. And for me, I think everyone will have at least one song that they have a very deep connection to, and most people will have some connection with all of them, I think. So it takes you on your own personal journey while it also kind of spells out a little bit of my journey and the things that I love to sing, that I love to listen to. Yeah, it's about bridging those interminable gaps between the souls of each person.
Favorite song that you've recorded on this album, or a few if you have to?
Oh, good question. Very good question. I'll hit you with a surprise one. You know the tune in Kill Bill, Bang Bang?
I do know that one, yes.
I've done a version of that.
Okay, so that's unexpected. Um,
Very.
but yeah, it's bringing the richness of your voice to this sort of thing, and again, whatever it is you sing, you could sing the ingredients on the back of a cereal packet, and people would enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I do love when people say that. It is very, very nice for my ego, but I I love doing it. I love singing for the people, and the
Hmm.
more that I can do it, the more I can connect, the more I can, if someone wants to commission me to sing the phone book, I'll gladly do it.
That sounds like a plan. There's been things in your own personal journey over the last few years, which as well have helped you understand who you are better through your autism diagnosis and the way in which that then enables you to see who you are, I suppose, too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect the autism diagnosis to hit me in the way that it did. I remember I was on the call with the fella, and I started crying because and I didn't realize that I would start crying. I didn't think I had that in me, but it was the fact that it wasn't an excuse, but an explanation for so many of the strange peculiarities, the individualities that I had displayed throughout, not just my career, but my life. Having that suddenly brought into clear focus, as though, you've never worn glasses before and suddenly you have your perfect prescription. It's it changes your perception of yourself and the world. And yeah, it's quite something.
Again, with the work that you do, again, that will sort of probably help to inspire others to understand themselves too. Very much the same way as you sort of inspire kids through the co-written children's books that you've got there as well, which again gives another angle to your world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's all that I want out of this life, honestly. I think that is, for me at least, it's the purpose and meaning of my existence, is to hopefully, where someone may have cried before, to make them smile, right? Just to change one one impulse in the heart of one person. That is my ultimate victory. And to be able to do that, to be able to go out and to have people listen to the music, to have people read Jonathan the Porcupine, which is, it's a truncated story about me, and to have that be the truth. That people are smiling where they may have cried, or even crying where they may not have felt anything before. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
let's see how that continues. More books potentially, more music for certain. So, meanwhile, where do we find all of the music and, of course, you on the socials, in addition to picking up this new album when it's out in January?
I am John Antoine or Jonathan Antoine on every good social and a few of the bad ones. And Jonathan Antoine Music, you can find everything about me there. And I'm still available in your favorite retailers, So if you catch me in HMV, do send me a tweet. I love to see that. I'm everywhere, so just reach out to me and I'll be there.
Jonathan, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic Christmas.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Now, when it comes to our festive table, apparently the Christmas pudding isn't appearing quite as regularly as it could do. To make sure it's still on our top shopping list for the festive season, I'm joined now by Chef LLewellyn. It's our Operation Save the Christmas Pudding. How are we doing?
Well, yeah, I think it's in need of saving, to be honest with you. I mean, the research that Co-op have done has identified that nearly half of under 30s either don't have it at Christmas, don't like it at Christmas, or even never tried it.
But the thing is, I think when I was under 30, I wasn't a fan of Christmas pudding. I'm 53 now and will quite happily eat the stuff. It's really weird. It's like sprouts. I wouldn't have had them 20 years ago either.
Yeah, but what I think is the thing is about sprouts is there's been so much more interesting recipes that come along since the traditionally boiled sprouts. You know, there's loads of stuff you can do with it that add flavour. With a Christmas pudding, it's not been touched really for centuries. So I think it needs in terms of readaptation and the modernisation.
So what can we do to make it more favourable once more?
Well, I think our palates have changed, basically. I mean, if you look at the history of the Christmas pudding, originated in medieval times, started as a savoury dish, to be honest with you, like mince pies did. And it's evolved itself into this, I would say, semi-sweet, fruit, booze-laden wedge of a pudding.
Sounds like everyone's got an uncle that sounds like that as well.
I know, and it's fraught with dangers of health as well. Like, we light this thing up, we put money inside it, and we bring it to the table and expect everybody to enjoy it. Those traditions, I think, are still important. I'll touch on those a bit later on, but our palates have changed, and we've got much more sweeter palate now than we have, and that's evolving. And I don't think the Christmas pudding has moved with it. So there's still an absolute place for it, but I think with some modern twists and different interpretations, we can bring it back.
I spot on the list bite-sized fried pudding pieces with custard. I mean, that almost makes it savoury again.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's sort of. Yeah, we're on the sort of donut way there. It's texture, to be honest with you. I mean, the main thing for me as a chef, I think, is so important is texture within eating, because it keeps you interested as you're eating it. It's dynamic, and the Christmas pudding, you know, as much as I enjoy it, is soft. Everything about it is soft. So if we introduce some texture in some format, it's going to bring that back to exciting times.
So for this is where your phyllo wrapped Christmas pudding strudel comes in as a suggestion too.
Yeah, exactly. All the deep fried donuts, they'll be crispy on the outside as well. Yeah, anything to get a bit of interest.
Christmas pudding is something we wouldn't usually attempt to make at home. My aunt has done in the past, but it takes a special amount of concentration, patience, and maturing time to get them to come out right.
It does, yeah. And with a lot of things, especially around Christmas time is steeped in tradition, but food itself is hugely emotive and powerful when it comes to forming memories and traditions. And my mother would have made a Christmas pudding, but I haven't made a Christmas pudding with my mother. So I think somewhere along the line, this is why it's somewhere fallen out of favor, because those actually handmade traditions are sort of falling away a bit.
Something we want to turn around, but have a twist on it. Take the best of the flavors and give it some texture. Is that the moral of the story?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Or bring it into modern times. Like, go to social media. I mean, there's some incredible social media content creators out there that are doing brilliant, imaginative things. Get inspiration, take the flavors, change the format up a little bit, and then you'll fall in love with those familiar flavors again, I believe.
And whether we're looking at buying the bits to make something ourselves from Co-op, or whether we're picking up a Co-op own branded one off the shelf, I said that there are options. But you could buy one in one of the little tubs instead of microwaving or steaming it, then do something different with it when you've got it home.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then Co-op as well, and other retailers are now. I mean, half of the households just buy one because there's only one person around for Christmas dinner that wants it. So everybody's buying them, but we're doing them in much, much smaller sizes now. So we can still have that and bring it to the table, but we don't need this huge, great, whopping centerpiece. It can just be something a bit smaller.
And you sometimes get different varieties within a range, and there'll be some that are nut-free for people who have allergies. So actually, you end up with a series of mini Christmas puddings and probably a variety of different sauces, ice cream and custard for me. And then, see where you...
Hot custard?
Hot custard on ice cream, yeah.
That is a revelation that I feel like I need to try.
Give it a go. It works wonders. I mean, go vanilla. I mean, don't go over the top and put chocolate on there or anything weird, unless you really like chocolate ice cream. But yeah, there's ways of doing these things to mix it up, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I love that. I love that people are taking tradition and using it and interpreting it in their own ways now and modernizing it. So yeah, like there's no rules around food really.
And what else are you going to be doing for Christmas by picking up the goods from your local convenience co-op and making something special? What are your thoughts on something that gives us another Christmas treat this year?
Oh, I'm all up for party food, to be honest with you. The party food, I mean, in my household, you're eating from the moment your eyes open in the morning until they close at night, and I'm still force feeding you at that point in time. So there's some amazing party food options around.
So Christmas pudding vol au vents is your...
yeah. Actually, I'm going to get into every course this year without people knowing.
Well, actually, yeah. Then the following day, turkey chips with a strange crumbling of fruity stuff on top of the chips.
Yeah, exactly. A cottage pie, Christmas pudding top. You know, who knows?
Let's not go too far. We know there are some good flavors out there. What can we actually find in store that's going to be good to enjoy?
Yeah, there's loads of options this year around across the board with party food, and especially with Christmas puddings. I mean, what I would do personally was go into your local store, chat to the colleagues in there. They'll tell you and point out the best sellers, what people have been buying, what people have been saying, and go from there.
And of course, scan your membership card because you get some good offers on there as well.
Absolutely.
I'm like, well, waiting for Christmas to be on there. At the minute, I'm mostly getting sweets and chocolate because it's quite clear what I have been buying in recent weeks. So we'll see how that looks in a bit. Meanwhile, for now, give us the details where we can find some great tips online.
Yeah, everything will be on the Co-op website pretty soon, or the website blog. Also, look out for Co-op social media because we're sort of feeding things in slowly through there as well.
Yeah, there'll be tempting pictures of Christmas pudding to drag you into the magic.
Yeah, who knows? It might even be a strudel. It might even be something crumbly topping on top of some chips. Who knows?
Well, we'll see what happens. Like LLewellyn, Co-op's innovation chef. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm here with Tim Abbott in Luke 1977 in Cannock at the amazing centre down here.
Yeah.
You've been doing a tour. This is your last one of the run, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done 10 Luke shops, which has been great. Good turnouts there. Just fantastic how much love there is in the country for Oasis and Luke. You know, I've been Leeds, York, Cheshire, Derby, Leicester, all over. You know, it's a Midland Northern brand. Like Oasis is a Midland Northern band. What a link.
That's very good.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
But
so
it's good to talk to people, though, isn't it? I mean, the stories you've been telling down here, as I've been seeing you having natter with people.
Yeah.
They just want to absorb as much as they can from what were amazing glory days of Oasis.
Yeah, we didn't think that at the time, though. To be honest, like around about '94, we were literally thinking we're going to sell 60,000 records, and you know. Nearly 60. I don't know what it is now. But
it's in the millions, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well. I think it's definitely 40 plus. 40.
Yeah.
And it's we've surpassed the Beatles in this generation, and I never ever thought that. But you ask your average 14-year-old who the Beatles are, they're not interested. You go on TikTok, it's Liam Gallagher all over the place. So, seeing that round and seeing dads taking their sons. That's lovely, and you know, moms going with their daughters. Wembley was full of family, and to show this government can't go. Well done. Look at all the love they've brought.
Yeah, and it has really brought people together, and I think it's events like this as well. It helps people relive it for them. I mean, they're probably bringing their kids along to see you at the time as well, and it then just expands it to the next generation.
Yeah. Well, I think so. You know, it's like the pass on. It's the pass on, isn't it? I remember my auntie Carol, she ran the Slade fan club.
Yeah.
But in turn, she had Beatles and Stones records, which I inherited, and Tamla Motown records, because they were 60s mods, and I was a kid born in the 50s. But you know, when I was 10, 11, I got all their records. You know, I think that's where it is. Kids. I think people, of course, vinyl's back. So their old man who's a bore, all of a sudden, it's like, Dad's got vinyl, you know.
It works.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, all this stuff was originally on vinyl as well, though, wasn't it? That's the thing.
Cassettes, you know, cassettes. The cost of vinyl now is horrendous. I think like vinyl's the runt. It's like, people want the new CD, you know. So all in all, it was. It's been good, you know. It's good. It's put rock and roll back where it should be.
Absolutely. Well, I know you're enjoying the tour. Have a brilliant time with it.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to Christmas, and they're going to be in many a Christmas stocking.
I hope so, and we'll be back next year.
Okay. Look
Come
forward
on,
to
feel
it.
the noise, Slade plug.
Now, when it comes to our Christmas dinner, it seems our goose could be cooked as far as the turkey goes. More people are looking at meat alternatives, and I'm joined now by Eleanor McGregor from the Vegan Society, who can point us in the right direction for some tasty treats. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, Jason.
Now, tell us a bit about this survey here, because we are seeing more and more people moving away from being meat eaters. 3% across the UK. I mean, that's the best part of 2 million people, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So the Vegan Society recently did a study which found that there were 3% of the UK population now who identifies vegan, and even more than that, 10% are actively including plant-based alternatives in their diet now too. We're hoping that that's a result of people wanting to have a more compassionate lifestyle and seeing that it's possible and it's also healthier to do so and better for the planet too.
Yeah, so I think we all know that if the majority of us were forced to slaughter our own animals, we wouldn't be eating meat at all. I'm on that list. Sadly, I haven't been converted over to a much more sensible way of life yet. But it's that realization that actually, if you had to look an animal in the eye and say, right, I'm going to eat you, it's not that easy, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody who has seen like basically any Disney film will be able to. We think that lots of people are vegan in their hearts and would also think that animals deserve our kindness and have as much right to be on this planet as we do. So we think that lots of people in their hearts are vegan, but might not necessarily know how to do so or how to, replace the Christmas turkey at Christmas. But I'd encourage anybody that has ever thought that way about, if I had to kill my own dinner, would I actually do it? I'd encourage anybody that thinks that way to have a little look on the Vegan Society website. We've got hundreds of recipes on there and lots of great inspiration. And it's really easier than ever to go vegan if you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And so, not to detract from going 100% vegan, but at least reducing your meat intake. I think very often we find halfway houses, which are this is the equivalent of, and a non-chicken chicken burger. There are some good ones out there, but there are a lot that aren't. And I think that can sometimes leave people disappointed in a move where they are looking to actively step away from eating meat and then slowly move towards potentially a fully vegan diet once they've got the hang of enjoying food in a different way.
Yeah, I would say keep trying. There's good and bad products out there in every industry, I guess. And there's things that certain people will like and other people won't. So I would say that if you've tried one vegan chicken burger that you've not enjoyed, maybe try a different brand, maybe try making your own. We've got recipes again on the Vegan Society website using things like seitan, which is a really good meat alternative that's really high protein as well. I would say that there's an alternative out there for every craving now with vegan diet too.
Where are you at with the likes of these printed meats or lab grown meat equivalents? I mean, that sounds like a good way forward that gives the flavour and the texture based on most of the reports I'm seeing. I'm just struggling to find these anywhere because I'd love to give that a go.
Yeah, I think they're not widespread just yet, but I'm quite hopeful as well that they will massively reduce the number of animals that are being bred for meat too. Hopefully that's something that we'll see a huge increase in the future. But in the meantime, there are already hundreds of different products which are high in protein and really tasty and more affordable and obviously better for the planet and for animals too.
Yeah, so say we've got somebody in the family who's a vegan and we want to then make sure that we've got a friendly Christmas dinner so we can all enjoy it together. What would you suggest as being an equivalent then potentially for the turkey? So we've got something which feels the same, it feels traditional, yet actually has got a much more environmentally friendly footprint against it.
I would say if you're looking for a really easy option, you can go into any supermarket and you'll be able to find a no turkey crown or a vegan Wellington or a nut roast, anything like that to replace the kind of centerpiece. Everyone that I speak to who are meat eaters that have a sort of traditional Christmas dinner always says the turkey is the least appetizing part of it anyway. So I think that many people would be happy for that to be changed. I would also say that it's really easy to veganize a Christmas dinner. Most people don't really think about it, but like a huge portion of your Christmas dinner is vegan already. All of the veg, potatoes, and then it's just the centerpiece, I guess, that could be changed quite easily. But if you do make simple changes, such as instead of cooking in like roast potatoes in animal fat, if you use olive oil instead, it is healthier, and it means that vegans and meat eaters can have that too.
I love walnut oil.
You can also,
Walnut oil for roast potatoes gives them a lovely nutty flavour. I love that.
yeah, absolutely. It's a great tip. And one thing that always surprises people as well is that the classic Bisto red vegan gravy, gravy is actually accidentally vegan. So it's not something you need to worry about changing.
Yeah, I think that's the bit we don't. People don't think about what they're eating that is plant-based, and it's only a smaller change. It's pretty much the source of protein that you have to consider really, and in unless there's some animal byproducts in there. And to be fair, I'm not that keen on anything which contains a byproduct, even as a meat eater. So it is something that's worthwhile checking out. So a vegan crown I have not spotted yet. So what sort of texture do we get with that? I mean, I'm sorry to ask a personal question. Are you a former meat eater, or is you somebody who's been vegan throughout their life?
I've never eaten meat. I was raised a vegetarian, but I'm told that the meat replacements now are like incredibly similar. You can get vegan steaks, and you can get vegan chicken breasts, and you can get vegan no turkey crowns as well. So I'm told that they're just as good as the meat alternative.
Yeah, because I mean, I have tried. I don't regularly have the KFC vegan burger because I don't want to eat the ones for the people who actually, based on their lifestyle and choices, need to eat a vegan burger. So but I do like to be part of it. So.
Oh wow, please don't let that stop you. Vegans are the only people on earth who are happy when their favorite products are sold out. I promise you that. So please do go ahead and pick the vegan alternative at KFC.
But I tell you that it's interesting and tasty, and it wasn't even it didn't feel like I was swapping something out. It just felt like I was having something different.
Yeah, of course. And there's I think that it's really great to see companies like KFC try to embrace vegan options as well, and hopefully make that change a bit more accessible for lots of people.
Well, commercially, you're missing out on 3 million people who can't eat with you. And it does mean that even in the likes of a non-halal restaurant, you could still eat something in there because it's a vegan option. You know what you're eating.
Exactly. And of course, if something is vegan, it is automatically halal as well.
Yeah, so it makes life an easy choice for everyone to make sure they're getting food within their boundaries, guidelines, and their belief system. So I think it's good to have. It's almost a universal food, isn't it? I think that's the thing that we forget sometimes. Everyone thinks of, and I know vegans as a society have the Mickey taken out of something wrong because it's an easy target when you're brought up in a world where it is normal and normalized to slaughter animals for food. And we know this is how we've evolved, but you'd like to think we'd evolved, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we're obviously always continuing to evolve, and I think vegans, like you say, it doesn't have to be a terrifying alternative. You would like to think that in a healthy diet, most people are eating a huge portion of plant-based foods naturally anyway. That's what any diet would recommend, that you're eating a lot of vegetables and nuts and seeds and fruits and whole grains, and all of these things are fundamental in a vegan diet.
Right, we need to look out for the vegan turkey crown equivalent and give that a try alongside the other stuff. I say I'm still waiting for the day where I'll order a printed steak, because at least I know it's going to be of good quality and made exactly the way I like it. So that will hopefully be a day that's not too far away. Where can we go for all the tips, the recipes, and how we make Christmas Day plant-based without any hassle?
So go to the Vegan Society website. We've got a V-Guide, which helps people to go and to stay vegan. And there are loads of recipe ideas and tips and tricks on there for people to use.
And as we look to the new year, Veganuary on the way too.
Exactly, yes. Exciting time for vegans. Hopefully some new product launches, a time for people to give some plant-based alternatives a try, and to really get behind restaurants that are offering some good vegan alternatives.
Absolutely. And I think, again, it's all about having an exciting meal which is vegan rather than trying to fully exchange everything. So go for something tasty, different, and it just happens to be vegan, rather than going, I want cutlets and they've got to have no animal in them. It doesn't always work quite so well, even though, as you say, there are some brilliant options out there for now. Well, Eleanor McGregor from the Vegan Society, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. Bye.
Now, in 2025, we've seen more than 18 million donations made with the wonderful platform Just Giving. To tell us more about who's donating and where the money's coming from, I'm joined now by Pascal Harvie, their president. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jason. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
All good here. Good to talk to you. And obviously, Just Giving facilitating amazing work by so many people, getting the cash to the right places. And we know the regions which are doing the most. And it seems that the biggest charitable donations on average are coming from like Leeds, Edinburgh, and Leicester. And we're not seeing anyone from the West Midlands on this top 10 list at all.
Yeah, it's been another amazing year of giving, and today Just Giving is unveiling, as you said, the UK's most generous names and cities of 2025. I think every year we're blown away by just how generous people are across the UK, and this year is no different.
With the names one, this is quite interesting because David seemed to be particularly generous by value of donation and comes second in the list by the number of donations too.
Yeah, well, David's and Sarah's were the most generous names of 2025. So David's donating the most money and Sarah's making the most individual donations.
But there's a wide variety of names on there. I mean, Chris is they're quite kind. There's it seems that Chris's have donated 4 million quid. The Davids were 8.5 million quid. Sarah's in the mid table are at 5.7 million. So there's a good amount of cash going to so many good causes here.
Yeah, that's right. And I think again, it just highlights that and I guess it's also the biggest story is that generosity is everywhere. People all over the UK are going above and beyond to support causes close to their hearts.
Mhm. Yeah, because we're looking at health and medical and animal welfare as being the top two there. But I mean, there's educational causes as well, and homelessness and environmental issues are also on the list. So it isn't a shock what we're seeing here, but it is nice to see that people are really doing their bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And generosity isn't slowing down. We know from all of our research that 1 in 4 adults say that they're planning on fundraising next year, and over a quarter plan to donate even more than they did this year. So, despite economic pressures, people are still showing incredible kindness. It really proves that generosity is deeply rooted in UK culture.
Remarkable fundraising achievements. The likes of the head shave, that's up there as one of those things that people do. We've got 3,000 people plus shaving their heads for charity. 2.7 million quid raised for that. 2,000 skydivers. I wouldn't fancy that one. However, the ones who did got 2 million quid in, so it's all looking good.
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter what you don't need to run an ultra marathon to make a difference. Even small acts of generosity can have a huge impact.
But schools are also up there too with their fundraising as well.
Yep, they are, and they contribute. We see a lot of fundraising activity that happens across the UK from schools. I think they contributed over £30 million in different initiatives in 2025, which is huge.
And of course, through the right selection of boxes, things like gift aid can all kick in when you're using a platform like Just Giving.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a big difference to these charities when you select gift aid as well. It does increase what that means as far as giving and donations and how they're able to then obviously use that to make sure that they're doing the valuable work that we know that they're doing.
And you could be a random giver as well. Whilst people will be handing out their Just Giving page so people know where to go to, you could even just scroll through and see if there's some really good donations you want to make to people who are doing their thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, we continuously get blown away, and I'm really privileged to see the passion and generosity of people on a daily basis. And some of those fundraisers, as you said, I mean, they're just incredible. I mean, we've the two young brothers, Jordan and Cian Adams, the FTD brothers, they call themselves. They found out in their 20s that they had a rare disorder called FTD, which means that they know that they'll sadly suffer the same dementia that took their mother's life. But despite this devastating news, the two brothers have gone on and they've raised an astonishing amount of money, nearly £300,000 for Alzheimer's Research UK. And, Jordan and Cian, they've taken on marathons, have run the length of the country, and next year they plan on doing 32 consecutive marathons in 32 counties of Ireland. I mean, it's incredible. So you can see all of those stories, plus so many more on the Just Giving platform. And you can, as you said, choose to give in multiple different ways.
Yeah, and I think it is that story. It's about the journey that people have been on, whether that's the cause for them raising funds in the first place, or the story of them raising those funds, because it may be a challenge to them based on their world and their life
Yeah.
and the actual day-to-day challenges they get too. So where can people go to find out more about signing up to use Just Giving as a platform for them or their organisation, and also to find out about those amazing tales?
They can visit justgiving.com. And again, every small amount makes a big difference to these charities and fundraisers.
Well, Pascal Harvie, President of Just Giving, thank you for joining us and the brilliant work that you do. Have a great Christmas.
Thanks, Jason. Same with yourself.
Now, new research from Pfizer is telling us that older Brits are determined to dodge winter viruses to help protect their independents and loved ones. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dr. Ellie Cannon, Media GP, and also by Joan and Jimmy O'Shaughnessy, grandparents case studies, who are content creators too. Hello to you all.
Hi there.
So, first of all, Ellie, tell us a bit about the research, because avoiding coughs, colds, splutters, and all the nasties at this time of the year, I think, is something we'd all like to do.
Well, the research is really about why older people want to stay protected from respiratory infection. So you'll hear from Joan and Jimmy, their reasons for wanting to stay protected. We know that respiratory infections, unfortunately, can be a reason that people have to avoid doing fun things at this time of year. It can also be a reason why people end up in hospital with severe illness. So that's why we're looking at all those lovely reasons that people want to stay protected, whether that's spending time with your loved ones over Christmas or getting on with your exercise.
So, Joan, Jimmy, do you actively block people from visiting you if you're concerned they're going to bring nasties into the house?
Well, if they were that ill, we might do, yes. I mean, if we weren't well, we'd always say to people, we're not so well, perhaps we shouldn't visit. And so, if people would do the same to us.
But I mean, with your 4 million TikTok viewers, I mean, they'd be disappointed if you weren't well enough to put something on show for us.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we dance at home, so even if we're not well, we maybe could still manage to do a dance without infecting anybody else.
I think this our TikTok came about because COVID when that first sort of came out. So we all know what we all had to do then to sort of take care of ourselves and protect ourselves, and certainly we've always done that. We've taken our vaccinations when we should have done our flu jabs, etc. And I think the Pfizer campaign for showing that we're in that age group that are particularly vulnerable. And I think what we try to do and demonstrate is that by taking up the vaccines, by looking after ourselves, that enables us to do the things that we do. Whether it's our TikToks or particularly looking after our family and our grandchildren in particular, and do the work that we do also in the community.
And Ellie, obviously there are vaccines out there. The flu we've just mentioned. COVID is still being offered as a vaccine to certain groups. And have we got a campaign this year that's going to see that happening again for people in their more senior years?
Absolutely, yeah. So campaigns to vaccinate vulnerable people actually start much earlier in the year. So we start vaccinating around September time and throughout the winter months. And don't forget that this is not just protecting you against winter illnesses, but it's offering you protection all year round. And vaccinating against RSV, flu, pneumonia is just one of the ways of preventing respiratory infections. The advice to wash your hands regularly is still incredibly relevant because that prevents the spread of these viruses. Making sure that you cough and sneeze into a disposable tissue or the bend of your elbow is so important. So there are plenty of ways to prevent yourself getting respiratory infections and to stay protected so you can enjoy whatever it is that you want to be doing.
And we want to continue to be able to enjoy ourselves. And I mean, Joan and Jimmy, you are basically inspiration for anybody who really wants to keep moving, keep healthy. So what else is there that you do? I mean, are you socially distancing from people when you're out and about? If you are concerned about them sniffling.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really like going into crowded places or a crowded supermarket, so I might get my shopping online to avoid going amongst crowded people.
And I go and join 50,000 other people every other week to watch my football team. So
Brilliant.
I just have to take that risk.
It is about enjoying yourself and balancing the risks out, isn't it? But it's only if we can avoid these things to do. Washing your hands, hand gel, still our friends, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is,
it
yes.
really is. And I think like it's nice to hear sort of those different viewpoints from Joan and Jimmy. And I think, that's what it's all about. I mean, going to football is something that probably because of the sort of social aspect and the sort of good aspect of that and the sort of endorphins, depending how they're playing, that's something that actually we don't necessarily weigh up, but it's actually something that is keeping Jimmy well. So that's sort of, that is an important thing. Doing those sorts of things are important because that's all about, living your life, having a good quality of life and feeling happy, which actually does contribute to a good immune system.
Yeah, and I know these two were off on a cruise the other week as well, so enjoying getting up to all sorts of things.
Yeah, we like our holidays, and so that's another reason to stay well. And that's what motivates us because, we are active and we have lots of things we like to do. So if we were ill, then we can't do the things we enjoy.
Yeah, our lifestyle, because we are active and we are hopefully reasonably healthy, enables us to do the things that we want to do. For a wide range of activities, whether it's holidays, whether it's looking after grandchildren, or whether it's doing the dances with. Joan has me doing 3 dances a week. That helps keep me fit. It keeps the brain going as well.
And Joan, he says that like you're making him. I know, I've seen the videos. He likes to do it just as much as you do.
He does. He loves it. He just pretends that I make him do it, but he loves it just as much as I do. We've always liked dancing, haven't we, both of us?
Yeah.
That's how we met in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely story, and we enjoy your stories and videos online each time they happen. I did see you dancing with somebody I know, Lee Cross from Riviera Travel, the other week. So,
Oh, yes.
causing trouble with the gang.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're seeing him again next week, so no doubt we'll be dancing with him again.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sure everybody up for that. Ellie, obviously, Pfizer have done this research. What happens next? How do we find out about keeping ourselves safe as safe as we can this winter?
Well, there's plenty of information on the NHS website, which is nhs.uk, which has got lots and lots about preventing respiratory infections. If you are not online, you can speak to your local pharmacist because they've always got fantastic advice about how to stay well and what vaccinations you might be eligible for. And then if you want to read about different people's reasons for looking after themselves through the winter from Pfizer, you can have a look at whatsyourreason.co.uk.
Check out the details there. Oh, Dr. Ellie Cannon and Joan and Jimmy O'Shaughnessy, the two J's. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 861 just before Christmas next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.